Welcome to the Bodybag Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Thomas. With me, as always, Brokewriterdave.
And we are bringing you a special episode this week. Since I'm turning 30, we thought, why not make a video of me just listing my favorite horror movie from each year that I've been alive.
A very special happy birthday Bodybag Podcast.
1991, Silence of the Lamb.
Yeah, I wouldn't have accepted any other answer if you didn't pick Silence of the Lambs.
I thought about pissing you off and picking Freddy's Dead, but I can't do it.
Freddy's Dead. I would have accepted any of the Freddy movies. Freddy's one of those that I just like all of them. So
92, Candyman.
That was.
Check out episode 3 of our podcast for Candyman.
Shameless plug.
Exactly. And then we get to the year 1993, which was not a good year for horror movies.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, I had a toss-up between Leprechaun and Jason Goes to Hell.
But both of them, not the original Leprechaun, was it?
It was the original Leprechaun.
Oh, that would have been mine.
I've never been big on that series, though.
It's
I would
fun.
go with Leprechaun.
It's fun. It's goofy and fun. And it has one of the best lines in all of horror cinema. Fuck you, Lucky Charms.
So, yeah, I went with Leprechaun because Jason Goes to Hell is probably the weakest in the Friday the 13th series, so.
Okay.
94. I went with Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
That one's a great one.
Great.
Very meta.
I love that movie. I could watch it 3-4 times a month.
A lot of people say that was the one that brought Freddy back to being more horrific rather than comedic.
Yeah. Kind of brought more layers to his lore, so.
And I'm digging the trench coat, fedora hat wearing Freddy.
Okay, 1995. A little bit of a deep cut here, but I'm going with Wes Craven's Mind Ripper.
Mind Ripper, that's one Wes Craven movie I don't think I've seen.
I've watched it twice, but in the year 1995, there wasn't a lot of options to go with. It was that or Halloween Curse of Michael Myers.
Random question.
Yeah.
1995, we would have been 4.
Yes.
At what age would you say you started actually really getting into horror movies? Because all these came out during those years, but we weren't necessarily watching them.
I want to say it was probably I was either 6 or 7 when I really started watching horror movies.
Was it just straight up, all right, now you're going to start watching Freddy Krueger, or did you start off light horror, I don't know, Return to Oz would be a kid's movie, but it has some scary stuff in it.
I think I actually started with Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers. I watched that with my older brother.
Because I didn't really start getting into horror movies until I liked them, but I didn't start really watching and being analytical of them until I was probably 19.
Yeah.
I watched, I except for a couple. There were some series that I really enjoyed, like Saw, and other ones that I would really be into, but it was when I turned 19 is when I started really watching them and being analytical and watching those documentaries about them.
Yeah. I would say I would really start my parents would take me to see them in theaters when I was 10, 11.
Yeah, I snuck in.
Yeah.
I went to go sneak into Last House on the Left remake and the Saw movies that were in the theater. I snuck into those. I enjoyed them. I just wasn't thinking of making a podcast about them back when I was watching them in my early teens, but
no either, but I've just always loved horror movies.
Okay, so now we're up to what, 1996?
Yep, 96. Scream.
Okay, yeah.
The greatest horror movie of all time in my eyes, so. All right.
How about that?
1997, Scream 2. But I will give
the sequel to the greatest movie of all time.
Exactly. But I will give a shout out to American Werewolf in Paris. It's also a pretty good film. And then we get to 98, and it was between Urban Legend, H2O, and The Faculty.
You said what H2O?
Halloween 20 years later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Out of those two, I probably watched The Faculty more.
Yeah, I went with The Faculty here, and then I'd say Urban Legend second, and then H2O third. In the year 1999, I thought I was going to go with House on the Haunted Hill, but it's going to be Blair Witch Project.
Oh, I'm glad. I was about to ask. I knew that was like either 1999 or 2000,
Yeah,
but I forgot. That's like one of the last greatest like movies that came out in the 90s.
yeah, can't beat it. And then the year 2000, getting into a new millennium. I'm going with Final Destination.
Oh, that's a great one.
Completely blew my mind when I first saw it.
And
Just
if
the whole
you're a
premise threw me
paranoid
off.
person, just the idea that like if you go see that, then you're just basically scared of death in general, which means you can't be safe anywhere
Yeah,
because it'll get you somehow.
death's just following you.
I think I saw the third one before saw the first one.
I want to say the second one was the first one I saw, and I had to go back and watch the first one.
Third one was a lot of fun, the roller coaster
Yeah.
one.
All right, and then the year 2001, I'm gonna go with 13 Ghosts.
Of course. Oh, okay. Is that when that came out? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm terrible with dates. I completely like when Candyman and 13 Ghosts. We did a podcast or we did an episode for both of those,
yeah,
and I completely forgot the years that they came out.
yeah. Trust me, a lot of these movies when I was doing the research, I was like, oh, that was the year it came out. But also in the year 2001, the movie Valentine came out. And
Hmm.
that was the first movie that gave me a nightmare.
Was it My Bloody Valentine?
No, just Valentine. It's the one with like the Cupid mask. I don't know why that creeped me out as a kid.
Okay.
That's like the first like nightmare I remember getting from a horror movie, even though that movie's terrible.
Wasn't when you were 7 or anything. It was when you were older.
No, I was 10. The year 2002 had a lot of good movies in it. 28 Days Later, Queen of the Damned, Eight Legged Freak, The Ring, Signs, Cabin Fever. But I'm gonna go with
I
The Ring.
refuse to watch Eight-Legged Freaks. Me and spiders don't go.
It's so funny though. It's
It's
so
what I
funny.
hear, but I don't care. Well, just spiders in general. Just
You know, deal.
no, I don't mess with spiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with The Ring for 2002.
All right,
That
that's
movie
a
creeped me out. Yeah. All right, 2003. I'm gonna go with Freddy versus Jason. It's just a fun movie. I know a lot of people don't
that.
like
It's
the
not scary. It's
story.
just
Yeah,
ridiculous, though. It's what
it's just a
everybody wanted to see.
yeah, it's just a fun movie. I almost went with Final Destination too, though. It's
And
kind of either
that
or.
would have
Yeah,
been Freddie Robert Englund's last
last movie is Freddy. Yeah,
reprisal as the Freddy Krueger, right?
yeah, yeah. That was the last time he did Freddy.
Before Jackie Earl Haley took it over in the remake, which I'm still on that soapbox. He is not as bad as people are making him out to be. I thought Jackie Earl Haley was just fine as a replacement Freddy.
Maybe I'll go back and watch it and see. But I remember the first time I watched it, I hated the entire cast. Hated them all. All right, 2004, Saw.
Yes,
Completely
that would have
changed the
had to,
horror genre. Yeah,
Saw, in all honesty, would have been my Scream. I would have
yeah,
probably had at least the first 3 Saws in different spots on my movie pick.
yeah. 2005, I'm gonna go with Venom.
Oh yeah, of course, a classic.
Yeah.
Classic Venom.
No, I'm gonna go with
I
Exorcism
mean,
of Emily Rose.
I mean, I don't throw around the term masterpiece often, but total Oscar snub.
Yeah, if you guys haven't listened to the Venom podcast yet, I suggest you do. You'll see how we really love Venom.
Anyway, continue.
All
But
right.
honorable. I know that was just an honorable mention, but what's your
Yeah.
actual one?
Exorcism of Emily Rose.
I've only seen that once.
I've seen it a couple times. It's really good. It's one of the few like exorcism movies I can actually get into.
I think. Well, this one wasn't necessarily exorcism, but I've always been more of an Omen fan.
Omen's pretty good too. The year 2006, I'm going to go with the Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Underrated classic.
Yeah. I mean, is that, and then like Stay Alive, Hatchet, and Final Destination 3 were also choices I thought about, but Leslie Vernon is just too good of a movie. 2007, I'm going to go with Grindhouse, Planet Terror, and Death Proof.
I don't even consider those horror. I think it's just because the action was so over the top that
Yeah,
but I mean, I'll leave it in there.
yeah.
I'll definitely leave it in there. But when I watched it, I never really but looking back now, like, I guess so. I
Yeah.
guess it would have been kind of action horror.
Plus, you got Rose McGowan with a machine gun leg.
That's
There's
just
nothing
such
better
a
than
fun.
that. 2008. I'm gonna go with Mirrors. No one ever talks
Another
about
one
this
I haven't
movie, but
seen.
it's so good. I saw the first time I saw it was on theaters for my birthday that year.
Hmm.
It's just a really underrated classic that no one ever talks about, with Kiefer Sutherland starring in it.
Oh well, I'll watch it just for Kiefer Sutherland.
Almost picked Cloverfield though, but
Cloverfield was fun, but in terms of found footage movies, I still go Blair Witch.
yeah. All right, 2009. I have to go with Jennifer's Body.
A lot of people, that one gets a lot of love usually.
See, when it came out, no one liked it, but now all of a sudden it's kind of
Was
getting some.
that before or after Megan Fox started doing Transformers?
I want to say it was around the same time because
I think it might
Transformers
have
came
been
out when we
slightly
were in.
after because I think I remember seeing that and going, "Oh man, the girl from Transformers." When I saw
Yeah,
the trailer
because
for it,
the first Transformers came out while we were in high school.
couldn't tell you anything about that franchise. It wasn't my cup of
No,
tea.
I saw them like I'd watch them once and then just never go
Nothing
back to
against
them.
it. It just wasn't my type of action movie, is all.
All right, 2010. So it was between Devil, Insidious, and Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which that movie's hilarious, but it's not really a horror.
If you put in Planet Terror, I would have put in Tucker and Dale as a horror. It's mentioned much kind of like Cabin in the Woods is.
It's just a great movie.
That would have made my list, but can I guess what you're gonna pick?
But
I'm gonna guess you said Insidious.
no, I'm going with Devil.
Okay. The M. Night Shyamalan Devil?
Yeah, it's the one where they're all in the elevator.
I have issues with that movie, but I thought the concept was a really good
Yeah,
concept.
really enjoyed it.
That's the thing about M. Night Shyamalan is that you can hate a lot of his movies, but you can't deny that he takes on some ambitious projects in terms of the ideas of them.
Yeah, he takes some chances.
He
Sometimes they
takes some
hit,
chances,
sometimes they don't.
and I give props to M. Night Shyamalan for at least trying to go for projects that are not just your average fare. That I mean, the whole now his whole thing is that you're going to have a twist in a movie, and a lot of people go to a movie just to see what the twist is.
Yeah,
So even if the execution is poor, I got to give props to the guy for at least picking some projects and going,
yeah.
you know what, this isn't your typical thing. Let me see if I can make it work. So I'll at least give the dude props for that. Devil out of like, some of his lesser movies I thought was pretty okay.
So that brings us to 2011, where it was between Scream 4 and Cabin in the Woods. I'm gonna have to go with Cabin in the Woods.
Was Cabin in the Woods that long ago?
Yeah, 2011.
Damn.
I feel
I
old
thought I
when I
didn't know
saw
it was
that. I
a
was like,
decade
oh,
old.
right.
But that's a
Scream
good
4
pick.
is a decade old. Yeah, great movie. If you're a horror fan and never seen Cabin in the Woods, just stop what you're doing and go watch it.
Yeah, if you're a fan of horror movies, comedy, or like SCPs, go see it.
Yeah, it's just great. And then 2012, it was between Sinister and VHS.
Mm-hmm.
I went with Sinister.
Yeah, see, all the ones that I think that you're gonna pick, or that I would have picked, I would have picked VHS. You,
Yeah, I like how Sinister kind of has like a paranormal field, kind of along with a slasher type movie. I
hmm
feel like they merged the two well there. And then 2013 is between Oculus, The Green Inferno, and The Conjuring. And I went with Oculus.
I would have went with Conjuring.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not even saying this just to like mess with you. Like, just
yeah,
you're naming these two. Like, I mean, kudos for even mentioning
yeah,
the ones that you were gonna have a toss up to.
right. I mean, some years there's just a lot of
And I'm not
good
even really
movies. Yeah,
big on like the Conjuring series, but I
neither am
think
I.
my
But that's the best one in the series for me. Is the first one. But Oculus was just a really good movie, and it had a great ending. So I had to go with it.
okay next.
All right, 2014. I'm gonna go with Unfriended.
I still haven't
I
seen that yet. I liked the
I thought I was gonna hate this movie when I went watch it. Like first time I saw it was like 6 months ago, but It's actually a really good movie.
Who's didn't they make another similar one because it had to do with like doing
There's
something on
Unfriended, and then like a year later, Friend Request, I think, was the other
I'm
movie
talking
that
about the
came
one
out.
with Harold from Harold and Kumar. He plays like the father looking for his daughter.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name of that
That's
movie.
not the same one. That came out like 2 or 3 years ago, right?
Yeah,
All right, because I
it's
was like,
yeah.
that movie didn't come out like that long ago. But that, yes,
Unfriended
Unfriended was a different
has
thing.
it stars one of the girls from Teen Wolf, and they're all in like a group chat, and a ghost haunts their chat and is killing them one by one.
When those movies started cropping up, I thought that that was going to be like a genre defining like kind of movies in that you would see a lot more movies of stuff going on like there so and so is in a chat room and blah blah
Yeah,
blah. You know, kind of like how every decade has a
like something. Yeah,
has a genre defining kind of thing. I thought that that was definitely going to be one, but I think more people are into like the Conjuring and paranormal
yeah,
stuff
yeah. I
now.
got Paranormal's been here basically from like 2005 up till now. It's kind of been like the main thing in the horror genre.
All right.
All right, we're going to 2015, which is my favorite found footage film, Hell House LCC. I don't know why I love this movie so much, but it's so good.
I haven't seen it.
It's on Shutter, so basically, it's like they have a group of friends that each year they go
Actually, you know
and
what? Don't
make
even say
haunted
it.
houses.
Don't
Yeah,
even say it. I'm just gonna go in blind
yeah.
because you're not the first person who's said that it's good.
It's a great found footage film. So
I think I'm a little bit of a sucker for found footage just because I like found footage if it's I like found footage if it's not done like horribly like I don't know.
yeah, like found
That's a whole
footage
thing
could
that I
go
can go on.
wrong really fast. Yeah,
I can make a whole podcast about like the pros and cons of found footage, but that's for
yeah,
another time.
yeah. Like found footage could go bad real quick if you don't do it right.
If you don't, I think the biggest thing people don't understand that people will hold a camera still. You don't have to be janky 100% of the time you're filming. People do
Yeah,
stand
that bothers
still.
you so much, doesn't it? When the camera's in there shaking the entire time.
Shaking camera does not bug me, but not when it's the entire movie.
Yeah.
Because that's just a lazy way of getting around sloppy editing.
2016. Thought about doing Cure for Wellness just because it was a weird movie.
I remember
But
that
I'm going with,
trailer having
yeah,
being really intriguing.
yeah. I'm going with the Belko Experiment because the gore and I love a good battle royal format movie.
That was that the same that's not the same actor I was talking about who played the dad in that online My Daughter's Missing movie, was it?
No, the stylist is a white guy, so,
Oh, I could have sworn that he was an Asian person.
but yeah,
Maybe I just saw because maybe I just saw the trailer and saw someone like that talking and thought they were the main character. I don't know. I don't
maybe.
even remember too much about the trailer.
Yeah. Good battle royale, a lot of good kills, so I went with that one. And then 2017, it's a pretty easy year. I went with Get Out.
Yeah,
Great
that was a good one.
concept, good twist,
Good
good
movie.
ending. Yeah,
Put Jordan Peele on the map other than his
comedy.
Key and
Yeah,
Peele comedy career.
yeah. I was actually surprised when I heard he was directing horror films because I'm a big Key and Peele fan. And then when I saw this, I'm like, oh wow, he's a
Has
really
layers
good
to it.
director.
It's
Yeah,
one of those movies you can go back and watch and see some of the subtleties in it.
yeah. 2018, I went with A Quiet Place over
Good movie.
Hereditary.
I really enjoyed the idea of a movie where everyone has to be quiet.
Yeah, good alien film.
Good alien film.
And then in 2019, I went with In the Tall Grass. I feel like it's one of Netflix's best horror movies.
I thought that movie didn't do terribly well critically.
I don't think it did, but I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite films that Netflix made.
Was that a straight to Netflix movie or did that go out in theaters?
Yeah, it's a Netflix original.
Okay.
And then that brings us to 2020, which I went with Freaky, which great concept. So
Who was in Freaky?
Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton, I think her
That's
name
right.
is. Yeah,
Vince Vaughn. All right. That's the
yeah.
name I was trying to think of.
The whole being stuck in a murderer's body. And that brings us to the year 2021, which when I made this list, I realized I haven't seen too many films
Well,
from this year.
I think the last 2 or 3 years are kind of slim pickings in terms of horror.
They really are. I feel like this year and next year it's going to get better. Like you got Halloween coming out, you got Scream coming out in early 2022.
Hmm.
So there's a lot to look forward to.
So I guess we already teased what your answer is for this one.
Yeah, it's going to be the Fear Street trilogy because it was either this or Malignant. And I think that movie was okay. I don't hate it.
I haven't
But
watched it
it was
yet.
fair. Yeah.
I just keep seeing the trailers for it.
But I enjoyed the Fear Street trilogy. I mean, it wasn't scary, but it had a great story.
I enjoyed the Fear Street trilogy more than I thought I was going to.
Exactly. And it had a lot of good kills in it.
And
So,
then when I found out that it was based off the R.L. Stein property, then I got kind of excited for it. So
yeah.
I have no problem with that one being making the list. It was fun.
Yeah. That's also our first episode of this podcast is the Fear Street trilogy
You don't have to say that. The listeners know that they've been watching and listening to our stuff religiously.
since the beginning.
And yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this again every year until we have a. We'll do this for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God, making a list of 40 films, it's rough.
I wonder if I should make a list or if I should wait till my birthday. If my birthday's not until June, I would have to make my list. I might have to make my list and be like, all right, I'm making my list, and it's specifically not going to have any of the stuff that you mentioned. So, even though a lot of what you mentioned would have ended up on my list.
Yeah. Make sure to save my list and then send it over to you.
But this was just a fun little bonus podcast in addition to the one that we'll be putting out for this week. Well, you want to go ahead and give a little closing ending thing?
Appreciate you guys listening. If you want to reach out to us, we're on Bodybag Pod at Twitter and the Bodybag Podcast at Instagram.
If you want to hear us make a list, sorry, go ahead.
Always feel free to, message or, tweet at us. We're always willing to respond. So,
yeah, if you would like to have us make a certain list of a certain type of genre or a certain type of subject that we'll just make a whole episode about, we will be more than happy to do that as well.
all right, thank you, everyone, for listening.